that, and I'm pretty sure that the Ritz-Carlton wouldn't leave a sofa with stains like this in one of their rooms. Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial Travel Guides, and today on Sunday Sofa Time, we're gonna compare a Disney cruise cabin to a Carnival cruise cabin. It is Sunday, April 5th, 2020. My birthday is in 11 days, and I wanted to invite you all now to come to a live chat that I'm gonna do on my birthday, because we all know it's not like I can go out and celebrate my birthday. I've actually celebrated a lot of birthdays on cruise ships, and this year we know I will definitely be at home, and I hope that some of you can come and hang out with me too. So I'm gonna set up a live chat on April 16th at, what time is it gonna be again? At 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So 3 o'clock in New York time, which is gonna be 9 o'clock my time here in Hamburg, Germany. Sometime later today or in the next few days, I will set up the live chat, and then you can go click on it and set a reminder for you, or put it in your calendar or something like that. Please come and hang out. I was lucky enough to do 2 cruises already this year before the hit the fan. And it was such an interesting experience to be on one ship and then on another ship, right after each other. It was a great way to compare things, to look at what is it you actually get for your money on both lines. And I'm excited to sit down and talk with you guys today and show you some of the things that I noticed about our cabin on Carnival compared to our cabin on Disney. I have videos of both of these cabins on my channel now, so I'll try to remember to put the links in the description below, or you can just search for them in my library. And I guess the first thing I want to talk about is the size. My first impression of our cabin on the Carnival Sunrise was that it was kind of small, but the more I lived in it, the more I realized it didn't really seem much smaller than any other cruise cabin I've been in. Well, balcony cabin, because of course inside cabins are always smaller than that. However, my first impression of our cabin on the Disney Dream was that it felt big. And I don't have the exact numbers, but I'm sure that the square footage is bigger. Our cabin on the Dream was an aft balcony cabin, meaning at the very back of the ship. It's the first time we've ever done that. That had pluses and minuses that it brought with it as well. But the balcony was, of course, also bigger because of the shape of the butt of the ship. The ship booty, if you will. And one thing I really liked about the way that the cabin on the Dream was set up, I mean, for me it wasn't necessary, but the Dream had a curtain that you could pull all the way across the middle of the cabin, and then there were 2 sort of like rooms set up. So if you're cruising with kids, or maybe even another couple, that's just a nice way to create just a little bit of space, a little bit of separation between 2 parts of the cabin. And I've never seen that on any other cruise ship I've been on. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I just haven't experienced it. So these were both balcony cabins, as I've said, and as you've seen, and the balcony on the Carnival, we were on the, the side of the ship. So it was like a standard balcony cabin. Of course, the balcony was smaller. And the interesting thing about that balcony setup was that it wasn't a sliding glass door, and the door to the wall to the balcony was not floor to ceiling like on I think every other cruise ship I've ever been on. Only on the Carnival Sunrise was it like a picture window and a door that swings open and closed. On the Disney Dream, it was, picture window and sliding door. One advantage of the sliding door is you can leave it open a crack if you just want a little bit of fresh air, and with the door that swings open and closed, there's always the risk that the wind or the movement of the ship is gonna slam that door shut. My first impression of our balcony on the Carnival Sunrise was a very bad first impression, because the floor was dirty and tired looking. The table and the arms of the chairs out there had stains on them and looked like they hadn't been replaced for a long time. And I was like, this was a really, really disappointing first impression. I was able to look past it also because it was a relatively inexpensive cruise, and that is what Carnival is, one of the many things that Carnival is known for, that they offer really affordable cruise vacations. And we all know that Disney is the opposite of that. They did come and clean it eventually, and actually through comments that some of you have written, I realized that they're only allowed to clean balconies when the ship is in port. So if the day before the ship arrives in port was a sea day, then yeah, it will be a little bit dirtier, I guess. And here's something interesting. when I was putting together and editing my video of the Disney Dream balcony, I realized that that balcony was not in much better shape than on the Sunrise. Look, I mean, there's stains on the floor, there's stains on the table. I think the quality of the furniture is a little bit higher, but I mean, the floor looks almost exactly the same. As far as the furniture inside the cabin, the furniture in the Disney Dream, definitely in every point, a much higher quality. That doesn't mean that I felt like the furniture on the Sunrise was a bad quality, but just when you compare to like how they were built and what materials they were made out of, definitely a much higher quality on the Sunrise, or I mean on the Dream. If you look at this chair and you see how it's like, I don't think this is something that's necessarily mass produced. It looks like it, might have been something that was designed and produced just for the Disney ship. And this cool trunk on the Disney Dream also that I realized on the last day I could open up and like put things inside. But yeah, speaking of that, look at the stain down the side of it and look at the stains on the sofa. I mean, seriously, you guys. I know that can happen, and especially when it's like a vacation type thing in sun, that people are going to be, slathering lotion on themselves and stuff like that. But when you consider that the Disney cruises are priced in a luxury category, they cost several $1,000s for like a 5 to 7 night cruise. If I spent that much money to stay in a hotel on land, it would be like the Ritz-Carlton or something like that. And I'm pretty sure that the Ritz-Carlton wouldn't leave a sofa with stains like this in one of their rooms. I don't know. I've only stayed at a Ritz-Carlton once for one night and I didn't pay for it and I don't really remember it, so I guess I don't really have any comparison, do I? So, like both cabins, as far as the furniture goes, were fine. Disney Dream, like I said, so much more attention to detail, so much higher quality, but the furniture in the Dream cabin looked a little bit more beat up and worn down than the Sunrise. And that makes sense because the Sunrise was just recently like totally renovated and redone. And I'm sure that in like 5 years, that ship will look just like the Dream did. And hopefully by then, Disney will have renovated the Dream as well. Here's another advantage on the Sunrise, and that is there were USB ports close to the bed or outlets close to the bed, which was not so on the Dream. And the safe on the Sunrise was big enough to put all of our devices in, and on the Dream, no way. It was a small safe on the Dream. As far as storage space, I don't without like sitting down and like literally counting the drawers and the shelves and the closet, I don't feel like either of them had more or less space than the other one. An interesting thing about the bed in the Disney Dream cabin was it was like a real bed. It's not like a versatile bed that you can like split or put together or move to another place in the cabin. Like on almost every other cruise ship I've been on, it's like a real bed, but it was still big enough to put the suitcase underneath it, was it? Yeah. Must have been. And in neither cabin did I feel like we were like sort of fighting to figure out where we were going to put all our stuff. And now I want to talk about the bathrooms, but before I do that, please forgive me for putting a little commercial break right here. All right, you guys know the bathroom for me is, it's always an issue. And the more I talk about it, I'm starting to feel like that's one of the things that like people identify me with. And I don't know how I feel about that, but it is how it is. So the bathroom on the Sunrise was just like a small one room with one sink, and it was, as far as cruise ship cabin bathrooms go, I would say it felt a little bit on the smaller side, but definitely not the smallest that I've experienced. There was only one sink, there's a little bit of shelf space, and there's a shower with a curtain, but the curtain pretty much stayed in place. It wasn't, I don't know what was special about it that didn't make it like suck onto or stick onto my skin. I don't know. Maybe it already knew about the whole corona thing and it was trying to keep a healthy distance. The bathroom situation on the Disney Dream is like altogether just much, much more real estate dedicated to the bathroom area. There were 2 different rooms. One of them is like the toilet room, which also had a sink and shelving space. And the other room is the washing room with a miniature miniature tiny little bathtub. You guys saw me get into the bathtub, and you also saw me standing in the shower and saw how low the ceiling is. And that room also had a sink and shelf space. So all together, just like much more space dedicated to the bathroom. And because these are two different rooms, it was, I think it's perfect for families. I don't feel like we needed all that space, and when we definitely didn't need that setup, but as far as split bathrooms in a cruise ship cabin go, much better split bathroom design than on the Norwegian Epic, which you guys know I've done 2 videos about that ship already, or about those cabins already too. So what I'm saying is, from the split bathroom designs I've experienced in cruise ships, the Disney Dream is definitely like 100 points better than the Norwegian Epic. Both ships had flat screen TVs, which is, I don't know why people even bother mentioning that it's a flat screen TV anymore, because where are there not flat screen TVs nowadays? But I don't really have any recollection of one being, like better than the other. And as far as the size goes, how often are we watching television when we're on a cruise? There is one thing that was part of the Disney cabin that was not offered on the Sunrise, and that is these wave phones. So every cabin on the Disney Dream has 2 telephones that are connected with each other that you can take anywhere on the ship, and you can call each other, and it's a service provided free of charge, which I think is really cool. And especially for families, it's a great idea, because not every kid has their own cell phone, and not everybody wants to have the Disney app, and not everybody's connected to the internet. Although with the Disney Cruise Line app, you can message each other without having an internet package, so that's also a bonus too. And I don't know what else to compare about the cabins. I mean, of course, if I had to pick one, I would prefer the Disney Dream cabin because of, it being bigger and more luxurious and on the Disney Dream. But I would have no problem cruising with the Sunrise again and staying in that cabin or that cabin category. I know what to expect, and for that money, you really can't go wrong. As always, I'm always happy to... How many always is that? I like reading what you guys think about the things that I discuss here in front of the sofa. So hit those comments on your way down there. Press the like button, please. That really does help a lot. Just hit that like button. I try to get to as many comments as I can, but sometimes some go by, and a lot of comments don't really need an answer, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be doing some more of these comparison videos, including like the water slides, including the spa. Oh, the spa, you guys, wait for that one. And the private islands. And if you guys have any other ideas of things that I can compare to each other, let me know. But now comes the time on Sunday Sofatime where I comment on your comments live on air. In last week's Sunday Sofatime, I sat down and I showed you and talked about the fantastic barbecue that was provided on the Disney's private island Castaway Cay at Serenity Bay. These comments are related to that video. And the first one I want to read is from Tana Mahafi. Tana writes, LOL, I'm with you adding stuff to my food. I'm stealing your phrase that I like pimping my food. Yeah, I very rarely, when I order anything at a restaurant, and especially in the buffet on cruises, very rarely do I leave anything untouched. I always like to find like little ways to just improve it a little bit by adding more cheese to something or more sauce to something, or I don't know. Watch my videos, you'll see how I do it. Next comment is a long one from Vanessa Hinoyosa. Vanessa writes, hi Morgan. Hi Vanessa. You know what's up with that towel, LOL, love it. She's talking about one of the things in my merchandise store on Teespring. I have this towel that says, I promise I didn't put this here, and then here's a picture of it right now. If you're interested in getting one of these towels and helping support the very unofficial travel guides, the link for that is also in the description below. Anyways, love it. And you're absolutely right. My husband and I think it's very important that all creators show a little bit of everything when it comes to traveling, and food is such a huge part of that. Your video was one of the most detailed CC Serenity Bay barbecues we have ever seen, so thank you for that. You're welcome. As far as that lady, she was completely rude. By the way, I realized the lady is a guy. It's Dennis, not Denise. We're gold members for Disney and we have traveled in January. You were actually the cruise before us. So isn't that crazy that you guys were getting off of the ship on the day that we got on it? April, October, September, and it really doesn't matter. There's always kids and they are not always well behaved, nor are the adults. which is a shame, really. Your cruise is the normal to us. It looked exactly like ours with the amount of people. Your response to her was perfect. Also, DQ isn't Dick, it's Drama Queen. Yeah, okay, I learned that now. Which you are not. Well, maybe sometimes. You're an amazing creator, and my husband and I thank you for what you do. Thank you so much. I really hope you give Disney another chance because they are really great, and I really think you'd enjoy Palo. It is horrible that they are pricey. Yeah, you know, that is really the only reason keeping us back from doing another Disney cruise is the price. Well, and Corona, but you guys know what I mean. Final comment is from Pamela Wiggins. Pamela writes, grab a veggie burger with meaty hands. Ha ha ha, so funny. It happened, and you know, it's kind of gross if you ask me. Morgan, you have proven you don't need to be rude or insulting to get your point across. I just feel it is never necessary to go there. I wish people would stop and think first. Wouldn't that be nice? I felt angry and wanted to comment at times. I just stopped for a minute and will just leave a person's channel before I would do that. Who needs that negativity? I'm surprised you even responded to that. I just felt like I wanted to. And another thing I feel is gratefulness. I'm so glad that you guys come here every week and I can be part of your life in your living room or on your sofa. I've said this before, but yeah, I just feel I like to say it often enough that I'm very thankful and grateful that I can come to you every week like this and that you guys come back and want more. Remember to mark your calendars for the night, or well, probably the afternoon for most of you, April 16th for my birthday live chat. I would be so happy if you could come, and I'll see you next week. Right? 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 Bye-bye.